Hello everyone, my name is AB Pickle and welcome back to Second Extinction Tips and Tricks for Beginners, Part 5. Today we are answering the question of Mr. Supreme Hair. He asked for a solo guide on beating the overmutated egg emergency events. So today I'm going to give you a couple of builds and a little bit of gameplay to show you how to best do those events without getting overwhelmed. So we're just going to go into some free roam. And so if you don't know, in these high threat level areas, every once in a while a emergency event will pop up, so in these areas, certain events, there can be quite a few of them, but the overmutation one is where a bunch of the overmutated raptors are. It's where there's going to be about 40 eggs, and there's going to be a lot of them, and if you're going to go in there, if you're going to shoot the eggs, and they will hatch sometimes, so we're going to go on hard here. And just so it's a little medium difficulty, you can get overwhelmed really easily in this situation, like really easily. So I'm going to give you a couple of builds that'll help you lessen getting overwhelmed. If you're just going in to do it solo, it gets real tricky real fast. So I'm going to give you a quick couple of little tips and tricks, a couple characters that I think would do really well in them. First one's Ortega. She has high damage and high mobility, so you can get out of like really surrounded situations pretty easily. I highly recommend going with the assault rifle with the reflex sight build, just so you can remain accurate. And the shotgun with the dragon's breath and penetrating rounds, so you can shoot through all the eggs. You can shoot through every single little situation, and you can lay down fire for crowd control. And with her added damage to it, this is a pretty good build for crowd control. I feel like this is the best for her. Also, as always, ammo kit and equipment drops, so you never run out of ammo regardless of the situation. The next character I would recommend would be Jack. I haven't used him too much, but from what I've seen from his abilities, his charge is really good at getting you out of those outnumbered situations. His passive deals with people targeting him, so the more people targeting him, the less damage he takes. And during these events, you're going to be targeted by a lot of characters, a lot of dinosaurs, a lot of enemies. His kinetics converter will cause everyone to back off you after a certain amount of damage has been reached. And if you're finding yourself in a bad situation, you can always use his charge ability and just run them over like the badass you are. But the character I recommend overall, more than anyone else, is Rosie, as always. And Rosie's build will be the same as Jack's. So there's a couple of weapons on both these guys because they're both enforcers that I would recommend. So the two builds that I recommend. This one is a minigun build that you'd have deep pockets, so you have more ammo from the minigun. Scraping the barrel. I think it's like the last 50% of the magazine deals more damage, and back drought. This thing will. Have you ever run into the situation with a minigun where you overheat? Well, this makes it so overheating is what you want to do, because it'll cause a high damage burst of fire all around you, and it'll cause basic raptors to be launched into the air and fall over or something like that, and basically die from the fire. That's really good. It's a really good situation. Then you can also switch to the pistol, which is really good for close quarters, deals some pretty decent damage, stumbles raptors pretty easily. So this is another good little setup with Rosie. But the one that I recommend above anyone else, any other weapon, is the rocket launcher. And with this build, with the accelerant, so the rockets move faster and get to their destination quicker. Uninterruptible, so whenever you get hit, it automatically reloads it. If you're like already reloading, it finishes and skips the animation. Split warhead, which will increase the explosive radius to about triple what it is. And deep pockets for more ammo. And then for the secondary, revolver with reflex sight and resourcefulness. So I used to have Aces High on because the last bullet would deal double damage, and I could use that to kill raptors pretty efficiently. But I've noticed that it's not as reliable as I remember it being. So I recommend now reflex sight and resourcefulness, because reflex sight will allow you to hit more accurately at the head for raptors, getting kills to keep your clip going. And as always, an ammo kit and equipment drop. So I'm going to drop down right now, and I'm going to show you a little bit of gameplay of using this build right here. The other builds are pretty much the same, and will do just as well, but this is my preferred one. We'll see you guys in a little bit. I would also like to take this moment to thank Mr. Supreme Hair for commenting this. You've been commenting a lot on the channel. I highly appreciate all the support, and I think you're super awesome. So, and I'm going to use this to lead into my next part. If anyone is interested, I have a Discord server. I will put a link down in the description and in the comments below. If you guys want to join, talk about Second Extinction. I'm still trying to fully complete it, but it's there for you guys to join. So yeah, go ahead and hop on over to that if you guys want to talk and possibly play with me. It's important.
Oh my god!
What the fuck just happened? Can anything normal happen in this game? Please. Alright, so we're at the location, and before we start, just wanted to point out there's a couple of things you're going to want to do. There's going to be a bunch of eggs, and they're all going to be grouped together in little tiny chunks of, I believe, either 8 or 5. I can't remember. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to attack one of the egg sections at a time. If you just go and try and shoot all the eggs you see, you'll get overwhelmed. So, as you can see, they're grouped together. I'm just going to attack this one first. As you can see, with the split warhead, it splits the rockets into 3. Hit me, please. Thank you. And I see there's a lot of raptors right here. I'm going to put down my electric fence. And raptors should get stuck in it pretty well. As you can see, it trapped all of them, just that one, really well. The static fence is amazing. Also, a tip that a lot of people don't like to do is they don't use Rosie's ability until, like, it's already too late. So they don't use her healing until they're already like really low on health. Use it as soon as it's up. Like as you get it, see it's up at half health, it'll come back real quick. Don't worry, you won't be without it for very long. So use it as soon as you can. The more damage you deal, you know, the more it's up. And as long as it's up, the higher your health, the less chances of you falling over. And as you can see, since I'm sequentially taking it over, and then I'm making sure to refresh my spikes, these raptors are getting stuck in it a lot. As long as I come over here to do so, use my healing, split the warhead, cause them all to get knocked up. Not a sex joke. And then hit the raptors from a distance, pull out my little revolver to finish it off here, and there we go. Now all I've got to do is just clean up the rest of the raptors, and then we should be done. And put yourself between the raptors. Make sure they end up walking through it. So, like, if there's a majority of the raptors are, you know, not getting stuck in it, just keep walking through it back and forth. Ooh, Harridan. Also, a lot of people probably struggle with this event because the overmutated raptors, they have a lot more health than normal raptors, and also they're more agile, and I think they hurt more. I haven't exactly, you know, watched footage of the difference between a raptor and an overmutated raptor, but they're a lot more dangerous. You son of a bitch. Anyway, so they're a lot more dangerous than, like, you know, your typical normal raptors. So getting overwhelmed by them is kind of a bad situation. But as long as you take them out sequentially like that, and you make sure to play around your static barriers, it should be no piece. It should be no problem whatsoever to take them down. So I hope this solo guide for you know, doing these events has been helpful. My name is Pickle, and if you guys have any more questions or any other events that you would like to see soloed, any other guides or builds you'd like to see, put them down in the comments below. The next video should be on the minigun. I had a request for that, so that shall be my next one. And then after that, I actually had a little cool person. They asked me, "Hey, could you cover some of my builds for my videos? In one of yours." So I'm gonna check out a couple of those. From a oh, what's his name? It's something Extinction. Ricky Extinction. He asked me to cover one of his builds, so that should be the one after the minigun. So yeah. If you guys enjoyed the video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And see you guys in the next one. Bye.